Hello, welcome back to the Gooner Fanzine TV post 2-2 Arsenal versus Liege in the Schlechen. You just heard from Dan the Man Mountney and Leighty talking about the press box conference with Freddie Lundberg. We're now going to go through the player ratings after a very cold but pretty happy evening.
Absolutely freezing. I'm so cold. I can't feel my hands.
Well, in that case, let's do this as quick as possible. In goal, how did you go?
Well, Emi Martinez, I thought, couldn't really do a lot about either of the goals. Took big deflections, which, going the other direction can't really be helped. Didn't really have a lot to do other than that. So, yeah, gave him a 5, I thought.
I think a 5's fair.
Pretty, yeah.
I mean, it's nice to see him in goal. Obviously, Leno's been a superstar for us, so it's good to see another keeper being trusted out and trying to get some game time, which is always positive. But the defence was your favourite character. We'll start a sense back with your favourite character, with David Luiz. How did you go, David Luiz?
I gave him a 4.5. I want a leader at the back and a player with experience. You expect him to be that, and he just isn't. He just looks like there's always a mistake going to happen at some point. Didn't really make a mistake tonight, but it worries me every time I see him play. So yeah,
we've
didn't do great tonight again. 4.5.
So his centre-back partner was someone coming back from injury, was Dino Mavropanos, who we haven't seen for a very long time. It's really good to see him back in the squad. Really good to see him playing football. And I know he was there involved and obviously conceded 2, but what did you give him for your ratings?
I gave him a 6. I thought he played out from the back really well, which has obviously been a criticism of Arsenal defenders
for a long time
this season. Yeah. I thought he did okay on his return. So yeah, gave him a 6. I thought he was pretty decent.
Decent. All right, let's move on to the fullbacks.
Hang on, we've missed Socrates. Another one of my pet peeves.
I thought we'd skip over that.
No, well, 4.5. As the same as David Luiz.
Worth skipping over then.
Yeah, he just continues to look shaky every time he's on the ball. It's just such a concern. He's got to improve. It's as simple as that.
Has to improve, has to change, because otherwise we are going to keep shipping goals. Because every time we do these videos, every time we go to an away game, a home game, we know we're going to concede.
Yeah.
And that's not something Arsenal are used to.
Yeah.
So that needs to change. But fullbacks, obviously we don't have our preferred choice of fullbacks available, so we had to go for Maitland-Niles.
Well, I gave him a 5. I thought he offered a little going forward. There was a point in that first half where Smith Rowe played a pass out to him, and I thought if he'd just sprinted, he would have got there. But he just watched it roll out of play. I don't know what that was about.
He did look a little bit lackadaisical in some events.
Yeah,
he has been out of first team play for a while. So
true, but on a night like this, where obviously Bellerin is injured, and he's going to be required in the coming weeks. So I wanted more from him. I expected more from him. Didn't really do a lot defensively either. So yeah, 5 could have done better for me.
It's a cold night, so I don't blame him for
Well, I mean, that's what they're paid to do, regardless of how cold it is, how much rain there is, whatever. You've got to step up and perform, and I expected more from him.
So the other fullbacks, how did you rate them?
Well, Bukayo Saka obviously.
Played
as a wing back. Yeah, Freddie did mention that Bukayo Saka was a bit upset of having to play that role, but I thought he did it really well. I thought he got forward to good effect. Probably could have taken his chances better in the first half, but he took his goal brilliantly. Just decent performance from him. He was my man of the match, to be fair. Gave him a 7. So.
But I mean, it's quite strange that we played 2 fullbacks that are players that aren't fullback players, that don't like playing fullback.
With the injury concerns, it was to be expected. Very short on numbers, pretty much in every position. So yeah, I thought he did really well in that role tonight.
Well, let's move up a row. Let's go to the DM role. We had a few people there that are probably not the best suited for the role, but how did you vote for them?
Well, Guendouzi gave a 4.5. He failed to control the game for me.
He looked a little bit like a headless chicken. I mean, we had a video a few weeks ago with Dan in the cap. Not Dan in the Mountney, but Dan in the cap, where he said Guendouzi is like a greyhound. And today, once again, I think greyhound was quite suitable for him because he did run around a lot without really interacting in the game. And the vote you've given him of 4.5 kind of suggests that he hasn't really changed his head role of focusing.
He didn't control it on a night where he needed to control it. And his early season form looks a long time ago now, doesn't it? He doesn't seem anywhere near the player he was in the opening weeks of the season.
Do you think he needs a bit of time off? Do you think he needs time off to actually get back to his best?
I mean, you've got to remember, I say this most times to talk about Guendouzi, but he's only 20. He needs that time to maybe sit back and reflect on how things have gone for him.
Do you think a bit of time off would actually do suited for him?
Well, yeah, but I mean, with the injury concerns
and also the game list we've got coming up, we've got some terrible hard games coming up, so we kind of need him to be at his best.
Yeah, I mean, despite his age, you've got to step up, and he didn't tonight for me. So
what about his partnership?
Well, Joe Willock I gave a 6. I thought he was okay. I mean, he's struggled in recent weeks, but I thought he did okay tonight. Worked really hard, got stuck in, drove Arsenal forward in the first half, maybe faded in the second, but can't really blame him for that. He's a young player. He's still learning.
He's had a few games off as well, so he's going to get back into fitness
of course,
as well. So obviously that was going to be a factor. And obviously this is probably, not a massive game for him, but still a big away day in a new country, something different for him, in a stadium that he's probably never played something similar to this.
Well,
so it's quite different for him to take effect with. But let's move forward to the next level.
Well, Reece Nelson, obviously back in the team. It's been a while since he started a game. I thought he did okay tonight. The game was 6.5. He linked well with Saka down that left-hand side. Looked Arsenal's most dangerous player in that first half. Faded in the second. But yeah, 6.5. I thought he was okay. I'd like to see him maybe get some more games as well. I think he's a real talent, and maybe his form early in the season wasn't great, and that's kind of had a knock-on effect in terms of him not playing. But I'd like to see more of him.
Yeah, because Dan, if you don't see the press conference video, Dan gave a bit more detail on Freddie's view of him and how he was seen. And if you want to watch that, some great details and great insights on what Freddie had to say. And it's a really fascinating insight into Freddie's managerial leadership. So definitely watch that. But let's move on to the next player.
Yeah, well, another youngster, Emil Smith-Rowe, back in the team.
He's not been in the team for a long time now.
No, well,
he's been in indulgence for a while.
Yeah, well, he had concussion. I think he bit of a knock to the head in the Nottingham Forest game way back when, obviously with the new rules on head injuries and concussions. He has to sit out for a while. It was good to see him back. I'm a massive fan of him. I've said this before. I think he's such a talent, and he played quite well tonight. He looked lively. Yeah. Decent performance, so yeah, 6.5 again.
And he's another player that Freddie kind of wants to take under his wing and really
Freddie wants to take every young player under his wing, and I mean, you got to applaud him for that, because there's such a good group of youngsters who have such a bright future ahead. Definitely. And I feel like if anyone is going to cultivate that talent and really get the best out of him, it's Freddie Ljungberg.
So speaking of an actual senior player, Lacazette up top, what did you think of Lacazette tonight? Wearing the captain's armbands, leading the line. How did you really see him from your view in the press box?
Before he scored, I had him down as a 4.5, and I upped that to a 6. Obviously, you've got to boost the players' rating if they score.
Of course.
But he just looks so off the pace and so shot of confidence. He doesn't seem like the player that we saw last season, where he was having a real impact on games. He just looks like a shadow of the player he was last season. It's very disappointing.
There's something about his sort of enthusiasm for the game is there, but his energy just isn't quite matching his enthusiasm.
Yeah, I just think he just.
And tonight was really his opportunity, wasn't it?
Well, I completely agree. He just looks rusty and shot of confidence, and I do feel a bit sorry for him. Obviously, a lot of the players are really struggling for confidence considering the situation we've been in over the past few months. Yeah, he's got to step up and improve and find that confidence from somewhere.
Does. I mean, obviously the game sort of trailing 2 goals, obviously would have taken a massive knock to his confidence. Yeah. So I can understand why he struggled a bit to get into the game. But the subs came on.
Yeah.
And we brought on Aubameyang as a sub, which I thought was a very strong call to bring on Aubameyang.
Well, I mean, I tweeted this out. I mean, Freddie was clearly going for it, wasn't it? And then obviously things turned around late on in the Frankfurt game. Probably wasn't needed. But yeah, I didn't give him a rating. Obviously, came on as a late sub. Same with Chambers.
But it kind of says that Freddie was really chasing the game, really wanting it. But it also shows that he wasn't quite comfortable with Lacazette as the sole striker. Yeah. And that for me is edging a concern that I think we need to work out what to do. Do we rest him for a couple of weeks? Or do we sort of just put him into the Europa League team? What do we do with him? I think for
the benefit of the team, I wouldn't start him. I think Aubameyang down the middle and then 2 natural wide players like Pepe, Martinelli, Nelson, whoever, is better suited to the way Freddie Ljungberg wants to play. So, I mean, for the sake of the team, he probably shouldn't start.
But a player that we've both spoken about in the previous weeks, Martinelli.
Yeah.
He came on. What do you think of Martinelli's performance?
Well, obviously, he was only on for about 20 minutes, but I gave him a 6.5. I thought he made a real impact.
That's a strong level for a player who's only played 20 minutes.
Well,
that shows how good he was.
He made a big impact when he came on. He added a bit of urgency, really wanted to get forward and create things. Such a talent. Such a talent.
One thing you have to bear in mind, he's played in Brazilian teams where it's been hot all the time. And he's come here to a freezing lowland country.
Yeah.
And he wore his short sleeves. He came out there and he played a good game. Yeah. We were up in the away stand. We were quite impressed with him.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd like to see him start against Man City on Sunday. I mean, he just adds this impetus that I don't think many players in the Arsenal squad have. He's just so keen to impress and go out there and make an impact.
He's got that ballistic energy that Freddie had. Yeah. When we were watching Freddie in the stands, that's the energy Martinelli's got. So he's a player we really want to crack on and really watch in the future. Mm-hmm. But who's next?
Well, that's it. That's your lot.
No. You forgot the main one, Freddie.
Oh, Freddie, of course.
What's Freddie in your view?
Of course.
Because obviously, the first week you gave Freddie a low number. Last week you gave Freddie an 8.
I don't think I did.
You gave Freddie an 8 at West Ham. What'd you give him today?
I will give Freddie Ljungberg 7. I'll give him a 7. I'll be nice, I'll give him a 7. I thought, commendable to play the young players and give him a chance. I think he made the changes at the right time. Obviously, there was the turnaround, which you've got to give him credit for. and the changes late on, especially with Aubameyang, showed that he wanted to go and win the game, which is always commendable. So yeah, 7.
Oh yeah, what was the press box food today? That was laid off screen, by the way.
I didn't have time for any press box food. But it was,
so no waffles.
No
chocolate.
There was waffles at half time, but
of
my
course,
hands were
always.
so cold I couldn't actually pick one up. But right at the end, there was quite a funny thing with the presser. Obviously, Standard Liege. Belgian beer is very famous. Standard Liege is sponsored by Jupiler Lager. And there was pints of Jupiler on the table at the presser for the managers to enjoy.
Really?
Freddie didn't indulge in one; he put it to the side. Obviously, you know, with his Calvin Klein physique, he doesn't want to be drinking things like Jupiler.
I imagine Per Mertesacker gobbled that down later.
Yeah, we'll take that back for Per. But
did you try a sip?
No, I didn't, unfortunately. I couldn't pick up the waffle because my hands were so cold, and the same went for the beer.
Well, we're cold. You just heard the player ratings from me and Dan. You've already watched the video, if you'd already clicked earlier, of the press conference review. We're going to do a match reaction video as well, where you get to see the away fans' opinion and how the away fans were in the stand, and they were good, but you'll hear more detail in the next video. So thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and up the Arsenal.